Okay, Tyranids versus Dark Angels. This is 1500 points again. We are both trying new lists again. So for me, I have HQ is the Swarm Lord with one Hive Guard, or Tyrant Guard, a Pyrovore, 20 Hormagaunts, 3 Warriors, a Venom Throw-Up, a Morlock, a Haruspex, 20 Hormagaunts, Tervagon, 30 Termagants, 10 with Devourers, and a Carnifex. Psychic powers on the Tervagon is Psychic Scream. The Swarm Lord rolled Catalyst, Onslaught, and Warp Blast. And yeah, should be a good game. This is Crusade, and over at Nick for his list.
Right then, so we are bringing 2 squads of tactical marines, 1 full unit, 1 split into 2 combat squads, a group of Raven Wing bikes, not combat squadded, so they might actually survive more than the first turn this time around, a squad of 10 assault marines with 2 flamers marked the little brown spots, and lightning claws on the sergeant. In reserve we've got another squad of 10 assault marines with the interrogator chaplain and his jump pack, and a Deathwing squad with the Terminator librarian. So let's see how this one goes. A squad of 6 in combat squad.
The end of Tyranids turn 1. Pretty good move. The Carnifex and Hormagaunts run 1 inch, but then Nick let me re-roll, so it was 3 inches. The Tervagon spawned 15 babies, 3 5s, so she's menopaused, but at least she give us a good run. I ran up with the Hormagaunts and Haruspex again, 1 inch each. It's not good. The Warriors shot at the jet bikes, which you notice are no longer there. Took out 2. And then the Hormagaunts made the 9 inch charge, assault. Took out another 3. Left 1 locked in combat, but Nick passed his tests. Also, his initiative hit and run, and he's moving towards the Swarm Lord. He's going to go down in a blaze of glory, I think is the word. The Swarm Lord periled, so he's down to 4 wounds, but he did manage to get off 2 powers before he did. And that's it, end of turn turn 1. Time of Dark Angels.
So first blood, first turn even for Dark Angels, and we managed to successfully get Deathwing Assault dropping in, and initially passed both tests for psychic powers, then realised we were in Shadow in the Warp, so the second one had failed, first one was okay, meaning we dropped a Fire Shield, 4 up cover save onto this tactical squad. We dropped the blast from template and all of this squad onto the gaunts over here, taking out a decent number of them, but not enough for first blood. We've moved this tactical squad up here to bring in the objective, uncovering that, giving me a nice, well, a better cover save anyway, and big move for the game, well, not a big move for the game, but we moved the bike up this way. The big element for the game was bringing the assault squad up into the hold the line formation, and devastating their way through a vast pile of gaunts. There is still a decent number of gaunts that are left, but I lost nobody and dropped 7. So that, all in all, is them doing their job. So turn 1 over. Let's see just how badly I die turn 2.
Okay, at the end of Tyranids turn 2, quite a lot to go through, so I may miss some stuff out. Basically, I moved the Hormagaunts up towards the objective. The Haruspex I moved up to about here, and then I made the assault in with the assault squad. I also moved in with the Carnifex as well. The Venom Throw-Up assaulted the bike, We didn't wound each other, and then Nick did an initiative test for hit and run, so he's just popped out. This is going to hurt me next because he's still got his homer on that bike, which means he's going to bring in a nice deep strike in the backfield. My Morlock was pretty cool. He hit with his terror from the deep, killed 5 on the first turn, and then he missed. Oh, sorry, 4 on the first turn, and then he missed, or he failed to do anything wound-wise on the next turn. I think he rolled a 1 or something, and then he mishapped. So Nick kindly placed him there. So I've got to do a synapse check for him in a minute. The assault over here, the Deathwing Terminator, the Pyrovore used his flame spurt and took out 2 of his guys, which took out 2 Terminators. That left the Librarian and one of his Terminators. He challenged the Swarm Lord with his Librarian, and the Swarm Lord quickly took care of him, but it did mean that his Terminators had a good chance to get first blood, which they did. They killed the Pyrovore. He then did his Volatile, but didn't wound anybody, so it didn't really make much of a difference. The assault over here, sorry I quickly skipped it, but the Haruspex came in and he's just awesome. It would be nice if his attacks kept on generating extra attacks, but that would just make him too overpowered. Nick's down to 1 Assault Marine though, keeping that in combat, which also denied me first blood, which is why he got first blood. So he's holding on, which is quite good. These guys are just standing there and just gazing. Assault into here. Nick lost by 1, but we just locked in combat because we're both fearless and whatever have you. And that's it. Yeah. End of turn 2 for Tyranids. So now it's time for Nick and his Dark Angels.
So turn 2 for the Dark Angels, and basically I've got munched in close combat with the assault. The tactical squad here has thinned the ranks on these gaunts, and we ended up locked in combat, losing 1 each on the gaunts in there as well. And I've dropped a Deathwing Terminator to do nothing in that combat other than I'm keeping the Swarm Lord tied up, and I've bounced my bike right the way back over here with the vain hope of potentially trying to keep him safe. So let's see how that goes for the next turn, where I think the tide is about to turn.
Okay, end of turn 3 for Tyranids. So I burrowed my Morlock. I didn't do any psychic powers this turn. That may come back and bite me, I'm not too sure. Swarm Lord is still locked in combat with his Terminator. He just inruns, he's saving them, he's quite good with that. The assault over here, I think we killed 1 each and we're locked in combat again. Or maybe he killed 1 and I didn't do anything, but yeah, still locked in combat. These guys moved closer towards the objective to get it. The Haruspex and Gaunts charged on the unit holding this objective. The Gaunts actually wiped them out, so the Haruspex didn't get to do anything. But on assaulting, they ended up out of synapse, so failed the leadership check, and then they rolled a 1, so I'm no longer holding that objective. And that is all that happened this turn. So it's time for Nick and Dark Angels. It's turn 3, so let's see if he brings his reserves on.
So turn 3 on the Dark Angels, and we managed to fail reserves yet again. So this end of the board is looking somewhat sparse, with the biker having run away to try and hide his homing beacon. The leadership test passed on the cannon, dropped onto this unit over here with the venom throw and a 2-up cover save, which every single one of them made. Despite setting the entire forest on fire with a vast swathe of plasma, they all managed to avoid it. And then we went to this combat where we lost 1 each again, and my Deathwing Terminator finally bit the bullet, decided to fail his invuln saves, and ran away to wet his armour. But yeah, that's pretty much done. So thanks to the reserves not coming on, a fairly uneventful and swift turn.
Okay, end of turn 4 for Tyranids. Dark Angels are hanging on by the scruff of the necks. I had one gaunt in range of the bike. He shot and missed, and yeah, the Morlock scattered into difficult terrain, so misplaced. So Nick kindly put him back there. The assault over here, the Gaunt killed 2 Marines, and the Marine failed to hit back. The Haruspex failed the charge because he's going to hope to wipe that unit up. And that's it, just move stuff around, making sure everything's in synapse, and time for Dark Angels turn 4, where the next squad order comes on, so see how that goes.
So Dark Angels turn 4, and we finally managed to get the assault squad to come on. Dropped them in a position with an idea, and then decided to discover I couldn't do it, because this group here I couldn't assault from deep strike, and I couldn't shoot in to try and provide a bit of support for the tactical marine, so he promptly died, meaning my only scoring unit left is this guy here sat at the back in the process of wetting his armour. He's hoping it doesn't short circuit the plasma cannon and blow himself up, which I'm guessing is probably what's going to happen on the next turn, but never mind. At the minute the ravening horde is busy converging on this small yet hopefully potent unit, so let's see if we can table them in the next turn or two.
Tyranids end of turn 5. Just move stuff around, trying to get closer. The Morlock burrowed. The main thing that we did is we assaulted these guys, and as you can see we took each numbers out. The Haruspex is down to 2 wounds now. So it's time for Nick's turn 5, see if he can wipe out this squad. He's doing quite well with the hits on the Haruspex, and that's pretty much it.
So Dark Angels turn 5, where he took a plasma shot these boys, dropping 2 of them. Doesn't really do much else. We took a bit more of a go on the assault down here, didn't lose anybody this time, and dropped another wound off the Haruspex. Nowhere even close to as potent as the first round of combat, but not all bad. So yeah, the game is going to continue, so let's see if I survive turn 6.
Okay, the end of Tyranids turn 6. If you notice that there's nobody left over here apart from the Haruspex, who's on 1 wound. I brought in the Morlock, Terror from the Deep, and I got a hit. So I wiped out the rest of the Assault Marines, the Chaplain, and also my 4 Gaunts, but luckily enough I didn't hurt the well, I hit him the first time, second time I didn't. Mishapped, and Nick put him way back there, but well done Morlock. I tried to assault the Lonely Marine and failed, and then I think Nick's going to shoot him, but at the end of turn 6, this is the stage of the battlefield. Next turn.
So turn 6 for the Dark Angels, possibly the fastest turn in gaming history, on the basis that we had the plasma cannon, which didn't get hot, took a shot, and dropped a dirty big ball of plasma right in the face on a Morlock, finally.
Haruspex.
Not on the Morlock, Haruspex. Anyway, whatever it was, I'm happy that it's dead. Big evil face-eating thing. People at Games Workshop shouldn't watch Tremors, it's not fair. But that's my turn over, and game
Continues, I think, does it?
does not continue because we rolled a 3 on turn 6.